Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to do a bit more of an in-depth makeup tutorial, get ready with me kind of thing. Just because I heard some people are wanting more in-depth makeup tutorials again, so that is what I'm going to do. So right now I am tinting my eyebrows. I am just using this peel off stuff. It's very easy to use. You just brush it on your natural hairs and you can go above the brow line or below, or onto your skin if you don't really have a tail for your brows and you're trying to build one or change the shape. It will taint your skin. Now, it doesn't last on your skin as long as it lasts in the actual brow hairs themselves, because this stuff is pretty waterproof basically until you go in and scrub it with your face wash. It'll stay. So for me, I just do my natural shape and fill that in, just because my brows are really light, especially compared to my hair color. Sometimes I will even put this on in the morning when I'm not wearing makeup, just do the tint and then peel it off and be good to go for the day, not do all the extra stuff. But that is up to you. So I'm going to let this stuff sit and dry, and then I'm going in with my little pot concealer that I have, and I am just using this as my eye base. This works really well as an eye base. I haven't used any other products as an eye primer in quite some time. I've been using concealer for a while now, but use whatever primer is best for you. You just want to make sure that it's even all across the lid, and nice and blended and not creasy. You can always set it with a powder. I tend not to do that because it does dull your colors a little bit. I like my colors to be very vibrant. So the first color I am going in with is this kind of taupey brown, and it is just going to be my transition color. I just lay it on with a pencil brush and then take a bigger, fluffier brush to blend everything out and make it nice and soft and smooth. Then I go in with the next shade darker, and then I go in the crease with that as well. So this one I won't blend as far up because we're trying to create that deep dark dimension in the eye. Not so much worrying about it being smoky, but just changing the eye shape to make the crease have more depth, to give the eye a more defined look overall. And if you're somebody like me who has uneven eyes, this is where you can kind of reshape your eye. If your one crease is higher than the other, you can bring your crease up more or down more, whatever you need for your eye shape. But then I just blend that out with the same brush I used with the transition color, just so it helps blend those colors together a lot quicker and easier. It's an easy little hack for those kinds of things. But I'm just going back and forth blending, and then usually when I get to the ends, I do little circular motions to make sure that it's nice and blended and I don't have this one big dark spot. And of course we do that on both eyes, and as you can see, it gets down on my lid a little bit just because I don't have a ton of lid space to work with. So I go in with my concealer again on a flat brush and just add some more to the lid to create more of a blank canvas for the lid color that we're going to put on. And I try and make it pretty round and follow just my natural lid space, and use my finger to blend out any gaps or spots where there's more product than others. You could do this with a brush as well. I just use my fingers because it's more convenient and a lot less time consuming, and then I can, blend it into the inner corner and just see how everything is going to lay. Now I'm taking a shimmery white shade and I'm just packing that on my lid, trying to keep it as tight to the lid as possible, and then just adding a teeny tiny little wing out at the end so it has a nice finished look. Yes, I'm going to put eyeliner on, but I like my liner and my shadows to all be kind of cohesive. And then of course a winged liner. Now I'm not going to lie, this was not my best wing I've ever done, but my eyeliner pen is also drying out, so I could have gone a little thicker on the tail here. But I'm just following my lash line up to that wing that I drew and bringing it all the way in to my inner corner. And then you will see I add a little bit of a cat eye. So I just trace the inner corner of my eye with this little triangle shape. Usually I do my liner off camera just because I have to sometimes use both hands in terms of holding a rogue lash down, or you know, not really pulling the skin, but just kind of adding a little bit of pressure so it's a little more tight and taut and not so malleable and moving around so much. I mean, that's good that my skin does that, but you know, we want the elasticity to just kind of pause for a minute. But obviously I do this on both sides. And I say the key to getting your eyes even, like your liner even, is focus on where one end is against your brows. Now, if your brows aren't even, that's okay. But if you follow the pattern of your brow, like my first wing goes all the way to the end of the tail of my brow, so my other wing needs to go at least that far. So use your brows as a guide. Then I'm throwing on my mascara, just regular old black mascara, nothing fancy, nothing crazy here. This is the Sky High mascara. I really like it. I do find that it doesn't last a super long time, but it does look good for this kind of short stuff. But then I'm going in with my base. I have been underpainting a lot, so I'm going in with my skincare first. That's my serum stick. And then I go in with my concealer, and I just cover up any blemishes I have, and of course my under eyes to cover that darkness. And then my foundation. I always put my foundation in the middle of my face and then work it outwards. This is going to give you the best coverage, and this is also going to give you the most natural look, because the center of the face, I mean, we have these dramatic eyes, we're going to add lashes to them, we're going to have these lips. Like, we want everything to kind of be focused on the center of the face, so you want your heaviest foundation to be on the center of your face, not on the outside edges. That's how you get that cakey kind of unblended look. So if you start in the center and work your way out, it's going to be a lot easier. It's a lot easier to underpaint this way, and it's a lot easier just to make your makeup look more cohesive in general. And then you don't have like all that makeup in your hairline that you have to try and clean out. It makes life so much easier. I also never put foundation directly on my nose. It's always just whatever's on the sponge. Again, more natural. You don't get those deep kind of set like cakey lines by your nostrils and stuff, and then you get less flaking on your nose. And then same thing with my forehead. I always start in the middle and then work my way up, and again, just down the nose with whatever's left on the sponge, kind of blend everything together. Your T-zone is really your main focus when you're doing your base. So then I set everything down because I want all of that liquid to just sit. And then I go in with a little bit of brightening powder on my brow bone. It's going to look a lot brighter because my skin is a little bit wet. But it's also just going to really highlight that brow shape. I like to do this last also because then if I messed anything up, I can go in and fix it. Now we're going to do lashes. Oh no, not lashes. We're going to peel our brows first. So as you can see, my one brow, it is not like super crazy dark. It's just a lot darker and more to my hair color than my natural brows. Because my hair is naturally, I'm a brunette, but I'm on the lighter end of brunette and I dye it dark. So sometimes my brows are a little bit too light. But then I'm going in with my brow pencil and just filling in the gaps. With any brow product, you're going to have a gap. So unless you go like backwards, but with that peeling stuff, you don't want to go backwards because you will rip all your eyebrow hair out. But I'm just filling in that shape and adding in a second color just to give a little more dimension, and it's still a really natural look, but it makes my brows a lot more defined on the fronts because I don't put a ton of that product there. Then I'm going in with another dark brown. This is like the deepest brown in this palette, and I'm just going right under the outer corner of my eye with this to have this nice defined lower lash line. You can do a full smoky all the way underneath. When I do that, I think sometimes it gets just a little bit too heavy. So I'm taking a pencil brush and just blending that out and blending it over. That way it kind of gets lighter as it comes to the inner corner and it doesn't weigh down the look too much, but it's still nice and smoky. Then I add a little bit of white liner on the inner corner and brought it over to meet that brown. That's just going to open up the eyes and make them look really bright. Any of these girls that you see with these big like doe eyes have white or nude liner in their lash line, and it makes a huge difference. Then I'm just contouring. Lately, I've been contouring under the apples of my cheeks, give me like that really full, like cheek filler kind of look, I guess. I have a round face, so I'm playing more so to the shape of my face than trying to fight it. So I just go under the apples of my cheeks to define them, make them look nice and high and full and kind of, I don't know, chipmunky, I guess some people might say. But it's just going with the natural shadows on my face. And I really blend this because I am pale as can be. So any sort of bronzer or contour that I use, if it's too dark, it's very easily noticeable and cannot just be played off as like a shadow or anything. And then I just put a little bit on my nose as well, just went straight down each side. And then I blend that and add a little bit to the tip of my nose so you don't just have these weird lines. And then going in with a cool toned blush, I always work this back as well, just to continue aiding in that contour to bring everything up and back. But the apples of my cheek have the most pigment, like I said, focusing on the middle of the face. And then, of course, I add highlighter all around my eye sockets. I like looking like a glazed donut. I like a lot of highlight. I like to turn and have that big shimmery line, blended, of course. And I add to the tip of my nose and the bridge of my nose. And that's really it. I just throw my wig on. I put my lashes on after I put my wig on because it's just a lot easier to do it that way for me. And here I am throwing those on. So the trick with lashes is A, get enough glue on the band. B, trim them to your eye shape, like measure them out before you put them on and trim them. And I would say after 1 or 2 wears, they are going to snap on so easy. These aren't magnetic, they're glue on. I tried the magnetic lash thing, it just wasn't my thing. They were just too heavy for me. Where my glue-on lashes are so easy, so light, and they don't bother me. I just stick them on and forget about them. Finding a good glue is also super helpful when you're starting lashes. I use the Duo brush-on lash glue. It's a lot easier to use than the stuff in the tube. I don't even know why the stuff in the tube still exists, to be quite honest with you, because the brush-on is leaps and bounds easier. But these are the Ardell Faux Mink 3D lashes. Again, one of my favorites. They are a nice natural lash that still has a lot of drama. They are fuller on the ends than they are in the middle, and they are a mixed fiber. So they're going to look a lot just more like like obviously it's a fake lash, but it's going to look a lot more natural to your actual eye shape, and it's going to enhance the makeup that we already did. Then I'm just going in with my lip liner. Lip liner, biggest tip is to sharpen it every single time. As long as you have a sharp point, it's so easy to line your lips. Also, looking and figuring out what your lip shape is before you even go in and line is going to help you a lot. I did not know my lips were a little bit uneven before I started like really paying attention to my features. So now I line so that they're more even. And also finding the right color for you. And then I'm just doing my lipstick. I love a good red with anything shimmery on the eye. So this is Retro from MAC. It's one of my favorite reds. It is a very comfortable red. It's not super bright. It's not super cherry. It's a little more brown. But yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.